All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Quesada, and today I'm going to talk about one of the key qualities of organization when writing. And I'm going to focus on creating the lead. First of all, I want to apologize for the delay of this video. Let's go ahead. So as I just mentioned, this is one of the key qualities for organization, and we know that organization when writing is crucial. Ruth Coolham says, with organization, the ideas are just impossible to follow. So organization helps the student to present their main points and the message across. And the point of organization is that the ideas unfolds logically. And we know that we have the introduction, smooth transitions by using transition words, and the conclusion. So creating the lead is part of the introduction. And Ruth Coolham in the book says, the introduction should work like a fishing fly, gently hovering over the surface of the idea until the reader spots it and bites. So it works like a hook, and it's one of the purposes to give a good first impression. So if we're talking about a lesson in a classroom setting, I will introduce these questions to the students that will help them analyze the introduction better to see if it's fulfilling the purpose of it. So the questions are, did I give the reader something interesting to think about right from the start? Will the reader want to keep reading? Have I tried to get the reader's attention, and did I let the reader know what's coming? So I think it's important to keep that in mind. And something crucial too is to keep in mind the type of text that we're going to write and our audience. That's really important because the main point is to capture their attention and their interest. So again, the purpose of creating a lead is make a good impression, capture the reader's attention and interest, and it works as a hook. So there are 10 types of leads, and I will also introduce that to the students. So we have analogy and comparison, which is really clear, compares or contrasts two different things. Then we have the case history, which provides a real life scenario with real life events. Then we have direct address, when it addresses the reader using the person you, so it makes it more personal. And then we have the fact that contains a little bit of information about the topic. We have metaphor, which is a figure of speech that shows how two different things are similar in an important way. So it's like comparison, but in a figurative speech. Then we have description that explains the setting, characters, and factual events. Then we have the one word or one phrase that starts with a specific image or a sound, such as sing, boom, splash. And then we have the controversial statement that takes a stand on the topic. And then we have the static that reveals details about the topic based on quantitative data, so more logical numbers. And then last, we have the summary, which is really self-explanatory. It's a summary of what's going to be addressed in the rest of the text. So again, I think it's important to keep in mind the kind of text we're going to write and our audience to see what type of lead will be more beneficial and more and better to fulfill the purpose of it. So this looks a lot, so I will just make a copy of the text. This is straight from the text, and I will give it as a handout to the students so they can better remember it and just go back to it for the activities later on. So this is the first text that I will provide in the class, and I will go through it with my students, and I will encourage them to think about the questions to see if they fulfill the purpose, to analyze is whether a good or not introduction or is really creating a lead, and what type of lead do they think they are. So let's read it. It says, in March 2006, I find myself at 38, divorced, no kids, no home, and along a tiny rowing boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I hadn't eaten a hot meal in 2 months, had no human contact for weeks because my cellular phone had stopped working. All 4 of my ears were broken, patched up with duct tape and splints. I had tendinitis in my shoulders and saltwater sores on my backside. I couldn't have been happier. So then I would just discuss with the class. Is this good? How do it make you feel? Answer the questions to think about in their heads and share with the class. As for me, and I hope for you too, it creates that sensation of, I want to know more about it. I want to know how this woman or this human being, it's in this situation, what happened, what's going to happen next. So it does fulfill the purpose of getting my interest. And as you can see at the bottom is Newsweek, so it's news. So I would say the type of leading is more description, because it describes the character, the character, the events, and a little bit of what's going to happen, and the rest of the text. So the next activities, I will go through them with the students, are these 3 introductions slides, leads, and I will have them be in pairs and read them and analyze them and improve. Each one of these needs to improve. There's something that can be better. In writing, there's always something that can be better and improve, always. So that's the main goal I would have them do, to maybe rewrite it, maybe identify the mistakes first, and make sure they know why are they mistakes and how it can be improved, and then identify a type of lead and go from there. So that way they can really get involved in this key quality of an organization and understand how the main point of creating a lead is to capture the attention of the reader, and to also give a little hint of what's going to be discussed and argued about in the rest of the text. So then after they do that, I will come back together and do it as a whole class. So I make sure they understand fully how to create a good lead in the introduction of their text. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video.